find somewhere differently, but without a doubt. See, hola Spain lovers, hola food lovers, Stuart here with another food review video. I'm on my way to the restaurant where I'm going to have lunch at today. It's called La Cocina de Apollo. It's behind me here, as you can see, and yeah, time for a menu of the day. It's a hot day today, so I'm going to go inside, sit down in air-conditioned comfort and get stuck into the meal today. Vamos! So looking around this restaurant here, a fairly stock standard restaurant in an industrial area in Spain. Decoration is fairly simple. We've got wooden tables, wooden chairs, not much going on the walls, 2 television sets because obviously people like to watch the TV when they're having lunch, and hopefully it's not going to get too busy, but people are starting to come in now. It's around 1:30, so I'm not sure exactly how busy it's going to get, but hopefully you guys will be able to hear me. First dish has arrived, and yeah, this is another classic here in Spain. Stay tuned for what it is. Now I'm going to say my mouth is absolutely watering here today with this dish, the first thing that I've ordered. Now, you're probably asking the question, why didn't you show the menu at the beginning of the video? Well, it's because there wasn't a physical menu on the table here. I've got this thing here, which tells you how much the price is, €13.95. I'll show you that in just a moment. So you've got the full menu of the day. You've got a half menu, which is €11, and then you've got an express menu, where you just get something quickly with some bread, and away you go for €7.50. So the choices that I had, if I can remember correctly, this was the potatoes with ribs, one of my favorite dishes here in Spain, without doubt, potatoes with ribs. I think there was a pasta salad and something else. I'll try and see if I can get the menu of the day on the screen. You can take a look for yourself. And I've gone for a fish dish for the second course. So stay tuned for that, because I want to see how tasty it is for this price, $13.95, because as we know, fish is not cheap nowadays. So let's dig in here. What have we got in this dish? We've got these different pieces of short rib, quite meaty. We've got some lovely potatoes that have taken on this yellowy color. We've got the broth. We've got some chorizo in here as well. We've got some red peppers and a little bit of carrot and some other veg inside the dish as well. So let's see what the taste of this broth is like. It's hot, I'll give you that. It's very, very hot. So I'm going to have to wait for this to cool down a little bit. But it's flavoursome. That's the most important thing. And you can taste the different ingredients that have been stewing away in this dish. Another slow-cooked meal, a spoon dish here in Spain, which, as you guys know, are my absolute favourite. And when you get the potatoes perfectly cooked, the meat's perfectly cooked, and a lovely broth, what more do you want? Washing everything down today with a nice glass of cold beer. Because she's a hot one outside, and I want to try and balance the heat today. Cool beer, warm dish. Hopefully I'm not going to start sweating. The air conditioning's on, so I might be able to get away with this. Now let's see what the potato's like. I'm looking for a soft potato. Absolutely well seasoned, perfectly cooked, which is what you would expect with this. This is a hearty dish, that's for sure. The workers would be coming in here after a morning's work, sitting down, getting a big meal into their stomach so that they can go on through the afternoon. That is, if they don't need a siesta. Now let's try a bit of the sausage. Again, very flavoursome. A perfect combination in this dish where you've got that mix of meat and veg with a lovely broth, a lovely stew, if you like. Now, the meat off the ribs, let's see if this is tender. I'm going to say that it is because it's been stewing away for a while. And that has literally melted in my mouth. So the first course today, an absolute winner. The second course we'll see, because what I'm experiencing with these menus of the day is that the first courses sometimes are better than the second ones. In fact, I'm going to say that the majority of the times that I sit down and have one of these meals, the first course is better than the second, but we'll see what it's like today. And it's a good size serving, that is for sure, what I've got on the table at the moment. Plenty of spuds. Not a lot of meat, but then again, she did point out that it's potatoes with ribs, not ribs with potatoes. That makes sense. And the other meat's in here as well, no complaints. The colour, as you can see, of that broth, it's an orangey type colour, going on reddish. And that's because of the chorizo has given that colour. Also, there'd be a little bit of paprika in here as well. And the ribs also, I would say, there would be a reddish colour to the ribs coming out into the broth. The flavours are delightful. And this is another one of the classic dishes here in Spain that my mother-in-law does very, very well. In fact, whenever we go over to her house for lunch and this is on the menu at her place, my son normally has 2 or 3 dishes of this because he loves it as well. And I'm just going to get the meat off this cartilage here, if I can. Lovely. Let's get the rest of this piece of rib. See if I can knock off these potatoes. Try not to spill it on myself. Let's get all of the broth. Last few spuds. And you see how tender they are. Look at the way the spoon just slices through them like butter. Last mouthful. And that is dish number 1, done and dusted. Bring on number 2. Now, while I'm waiting for dish number 2 to come out, we'll look at some of the reviews of this place, Cocina de Apollo. As we can see here, 4.2 stars, 421 reviews. Not bad, 4.2, I will say. Let's have a look at some of the reviews, starting with the latest ones here, or the newest ones. Muchas gracias. One here from Noe, who's saying, delicious food, excellent service, 555. So off to a good start there. Juan Luis, 444. And Javier, only 2 stars a couple of months ago because, according to him, pretty average meal for $13.95. They give you a pitcher of water instead of, or met la if you don't ask for it. Not sure what that is. Dress warmly because they don't turn on the heating. I don't recommend it. So a bad review there from that person, but the rest, as we saw, not bad. So dish number 2 on the table now. I've gone for a piece of hake. In Spain, this fish is known as merluza. Merluza. It is a fish that's fairly common here in Spain, is hake, and it's served with asparagus, what they call here asparagus trigueros, which are smaller, thinner pieces of asparagus, if you like. And we've got the chips on the side of the plate. So we've got some greens going on. And those people that have said that, why don't you ever have any greens with your menus of the day? Well, today we've got some in the form of asparagus. And that's going to be the first thing that I try. Let's see. Tender, are they? Absolutely. And if I said that that just melted in my mouth, would you believe me? Perfectly seasoned. We've got some salt on top, as we can see. A little bit of salt's been sprinkled on, Salt Bay style. But the asparagus, incredibly tender. And there's a nice sauce going on as well. The sauce has been put on the top. Fantastic. Now, let's see what the fish is like. Am I getting fresh fish? Probably not. This would be frozen fish. Would have been thawed out this morning, put in the oven. I think this would be an oven baked fish. Let's see. That's exactly what I was expecting. Again, for the price, you're not going to be getting the best quality cut of hake, that's for sure. But this one, for being a frozen fish, with the sauce on top, with the asparagus on top, the seasoning is making it a decent thing to eat, that's for sure. It's well cooked, not overcooked. It's a fillet, which you would expect with this type of fish. And there's a fair bit of meat, a fair bit of flesh. So no complaints whatsoever. And for a lighter second choice of meal today, I think I've chosen well. I think the other things on the menu, I think there was chicken, I'm not sure. There probably was a red meat dish as well, or a pork dish. But fish for me, normally the way to go. As it is starting to get a little bit hotter, you don't want to have that big heavy stomach for the rest of the day while you're sweating off this meal, that's for sure. So let's combine some of this fish with the asparagus, with the chip, which look to be home cut. They're thin, well fried, well seasoned. No complaints. I've just had a couple of gents come and sit behind me, which for me is a real pain because it means that I have to blur their faces out now, which is more editing work. And given that the restaurant's virtually empty, or at least that half, they've come and sat down here. It is what it is, right? As they say in Spanish, así es la vida. Así es la vida. It is what it is. Or such is life. Now, not much of the fish left. I'm just going to scrape what I can off the skin, because I'm not interested in the skin at all. Put that over there. Just get these last mouthfuls of fish and asparagus, which is added to this dish. Because if the fish had have come out on its own, it would have been a fairly bleak event. But the asparagus and the sauce has given it an extra point or two. Now, a couple more of these, and I reckon that I'm done and dusted after this. Dish number 2 finished. Bring on dessert. Now, while I'm waiting to be asked what I want for dessert, I'm going to look at a comment that has been left on the channel by one of you guys in recent times. This one here from Mr. Frank, saying, appreciate the video and content. One follow-up question, is it common for bars and restaurants to have air conditioning in the Madrid and Barcelona areas that you are aware of? Trying to set expectations for my family regarding how warm it could be inside. We are traveling next week to Madrid and Barcelona, which both appeared to be quite warm while we're there. Thanks again. Well, Frank, good question. And the answer is simply yes. In places like Madrid and Barcelona, which are hot cities, I can speak for Madrid. I can't really speak for Barcelona, but given my experience traveling around the country, almost everywhere I go to has air conditioning, especially, well, I'm going to say especially, it's necessary during the hot summer months nowadays, that is for sure. Here where I am, it's 34 degrees outside, it's air-conditioned comfort inside. I'm sitting here, I've eaten my meal, I haven't sweated all that much, and that's an important thing, because if there wasn't any air conditioning in this place, it would be an absolute nightmare to have lunch. So in Madrid, definitely every establishment during the summer months is going to have their air conditioning on, heating in the winter because it gets cold here during those winter months, but definitely you're going to get air conditioning. Sometimes you might go to a place and it's broken, bad luck, you'll have to sit outside. I wouldn't recommend eating at that place, move on, find somewhere differently, but without a doubt. Sí.
Ya, usted no.
Dime.
De postre tiene usted... Deme un segundito, lo mira.
Vale, vale. So definitely here in Madrid and the majority of the country, Barcelona, I would say, even though it is a while since I've been there, that yes, you're going to find air conditioning in the majority of the places. So Frank, don't worry about that. But if you've got more experience than me in the 2 cities that I've just mentioned, let Frank know in the comment section below. So desserts on the table. As I said, I've gone for the homemade flan, house special, I think. You can see the wobble, check that out, wobbling away. We've gone for chocolate syrup on top or a caramel syrup, not sure until I taste it. And the consistency of the flan with that wobble, as we saw there, looks promising. And as always, the perfect way, hopefully, to finish the meal off today with a nice, sweet dessert. Let's see. That's good. Not overly sweet, just perfect. The syrup adds a little bit of sweetness to it. I haven't quite worked out what the syrup is yet. Chocolate. And that adds a little bit of sweetness. But the consistency, as you can see here, of the flan, I'll slice into it. You can see there. That's a good flan. Homemade. Tasty. Maybe not the best part of the meal, but it's going to be right up there. This is one of the better ones that I've had for a while. And that's dessert done and dusted. Time to ask for the bill, pay for the bill, and give my final thoughts on the meal experience today. Stay tuned.
¿Me trae la cuenta cuando pueda? Y copia también, sí.
So the bill has arrived, the bill has been paid, €13.95, as you can see there, the exact same price that I have in front of me here on this placemat. And you saw what I got. The first course was the patatas guisadas with costillas. No complaints whatsoever. In fact, it was a very, very tasty dish, that is for sure. Was it the best I've ever had? No. Was it as good as my mother-in-law makes? Absolutely not. But it was quite respectable for a menu of the day first course, that is for sure. 4.4 out of 5. The second thing that I ate, which was the fish, the hake dish, which had been cooked in some type of sauce. I might have said that it was cooked in the oven before. I think that was the case, I'm not sure. If anyone knows how you cook that fish, let me know. Nice sauce. The asparagus were a fantastic addition to that dish. The fish, frozen of course, that's what you would expect. 4.2 out of 5. No complaints. The service in this restaurant, very, very good. The waitress is coming now with my official bill. Muchas gracias. Everything has been put together there, as we can see. So service, I'm going to go 4.6, above the average for this place, because she was very, very friendly. And the dessert could have been the highlight of the meal. I think I'm going to go for the potatoes at the beginning with those ribs. That was the highlight, but the dessert was very good. 4.5, homemade flan with perfect wobble, as you saw. So in general, my meal experience at this place today, probably a 4.4 out of 5, above the average, as we saw on Google Maps, 4.2. I'm satisfied with the meal. Food was good, service was good, air-conditioned place, sparse decoration, but it is what it is, no complaints. Whatever I just said, out of 5. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you have anything to add to the conversation today, please, I would love to hear your comments in that section below. Are the dishes that I ate today something that you would try here in Spain? Let me know in that comment section below. Or perhaps the food today was not for you. Again, let me know. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video when I publish it. Until the next one, hasta luego from the outskirts of Madrid. Buen provecho from the Cocina de Apolo. Bye-bye.